Jonah, it's been another week in the Wax ecosystem, and one of the main updates to hit the site in this last week was that the suggested prices of NFTs are now a bit more accurate.
Yeah, so we changed this a bit, in which might probably be missed initially, but I think should be noticed quite well after time. So basically, what's happening now, if previously our suggested price was higher than the currently lowest listed price, and the listed price just doesn't get sold, that obviously to a human that would imply that perhaps the value is that or lower, because
Mhm.
otherwise it would have been bought already. So that is now taken into account. So basically, just if there's a listing for an NFT that isn't purchased for a while, and that listing is lower than the current suggested price, the suggested price will be corrected downwards, make it a bit more accurate. Still, obviously, there's more going into the real value of an NFT than what we can calculate easily, but at least a bit more accurate now.
Yeah, for sure. It certainly makes it helpful when you're scouring the secondary market looking for a good deal. You get sort of a more accurate representation of what the kind of the suggested price of NFT is at the time that you want to purchase it. So that's yeah, a very helpful kind of little change for the users there. So aside from that update, what have we been working on this week?
Yeah, I think sort of this week has been very much NFT.NYC themed.
Hmm.
Sort of all across the company, everyone's working on something for that, because we have some things planned to make our attendance there a success. So I think that's sort of the main theme. Obviously, in the background, still a lot of work going on all the other things that I've talked about in the last few AMAs, but I think that's the most notable one. Getting ready for NFT NYC, and making sure that we can um, convince as many people as possible that Wax and Atomic Hub are pretty cool once we're there.
Yeah, for sure. If you want all the info for what we'll be doing at NFT NYC, then if you head to the Atomic Hub homepage, scroll right to the bottom to the Atomic Hub blog, and then we've got an article up there kind of explaining what we're doing. So all the info's there for you.
Yeah.
So a couple of questions from the community. We have two from our project reps in our Discord this week. So one made a suggestion with regards to the hero section on the Atomic Hub homepage, saying that could we, let's say, have a kind of randomized whitelisted collection be part of that hero carousel on a regular basis. Is that something we might consider, or are there any other sort of plans we have for that hero section?
Yeah, I mean, it is something we would consider. I mean, actually, when we planned out this hero section, where it's, I mean, just a carousel at the top of Atomic Hub, showing a few collections, which right now is just sorted by volume, like back by market volume. We always had the idea that this could be something different than just market volume. It could be a random one. It could be maybe one that is handpicked for that particular week because it has a big drop. Could be a lot of things. So yes, right now it's just market volume. We are considering changing that at some point. Like, honestly, we just didn't get to it yet, but this
Yep.
has always been on our roadmap to think of something to make it a bit more interesting and a bit more in the spirit of sort of exploring and discovering new collections.
For sure. No, that's great to hear, and I'm sure kind of creators out there will perhaps look forward to maybe there'll be an opportunity for them in the future to be featured. So there we go. Another question from Project Reps this week was one suggestion to have the number of assets a collection has burned on the collection page itself, so that its fans and its collectors are able to see that more clearly. Is that something we might consider, and are there any other kind of things we would like to implement on the collection page?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting suggestion, and something we could consider. I think, sort of in a more general sense, we do want to add just better statistics tools all around to Atomic Hub, to just show more data. The thing is, with showing this much data, if you're not careful from a UX perspective, it gets really like clumped and just a lot of numbers, and no one knows what's going on. So that's why we didn't just add it all, but at some point we do definitely want to tackle that properly, and add some proper statistics to collection pages, but potentially also to your own inventory, or yeah, all around the site essentially.
Oh, I think that'd be a a great addition for both creators and collectors, just to, see in hard stats more info about their favorite collections, and of course their own inventory as well. So third question from the community is, I think it's something we discussed before, but it's kind of been a renewed sort of vigor for this. So people have been asking about the ability to back their NFTs with various different tokens in the space. What are our thoughts on that?
So I mean, first of all, I mean that's not an Atomic Hub decision. It's more an Atomic Assets decision. But obviously, like, we're closely linked to Atomic Assets, so we're also probably the right ones to talk to there. Our idea so far has always been that for us to add a token there to be backed, there has to be a really strong argument for it. So the token has to be solid. The token has to have good legal foundation, but the token also has to just have good trading volume, be already adopted. We don't want to just add a token that is not adopted at all. And then there has to be a good reason why this token specifically would have to be backed, because maybe there's a big game that wants to use this for their functionality. So if all of those sort of boxes are ticked, then we would consider adding a new token there. For now, we feel like what we have is, like, Wax probably being by far the most important one, is pretty decent. But if there's a strong argument for a token to be added, then certainly you can come talk to us, and just then we can see if we can prioritize this and talk about this in sort of our Atomic Assets working group, where I think I mentioned it in a recent AMA. We are not the only people in control of Atomic Assets. We actually can't make any changes on our own. It has to be made in collaboration with these other entities that also control Atomic Assets together with us.
For sure. And if you have any particular thoughts with regards to, backing NFTs with tokens or anything else we've discussed, just hop into our Discord, into our general channel, and everything you say in there does get fed back to the team. So that's a great way to get your thoughts across to us. So I think that's everything in terms of questions. But of course, just another quick reminder about NFT.NYC, which is next week, June the 20th to the 23rd. There's several members of our team flying out there. By all accounts and by all the emails and messages that I keep getting, there's going to be, I think it's about 15,000 people attending. There's thousands of exhibitors, speakers. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really fun event.
It certainly looks like it, yeah. And if anyone watching it will be there in New York next week, we'd be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. If you're in the area, then let us know. I'm sure we'll like to try and find a way for us to meet up. So yeah, Jona, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next week.
In New York, probably.
In New York, but yeah, another in-person one, maybe. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.